Well, this is harvest season where we celebrate pumpkins and all sorts of squash, including one of my personal favorites, butternut squash. And Jordan Barco is here from My Verona in Cedar Falls and says that these nutrient-rich vegetables are easy to prepare.
Well, yes, they're actually very easy to prepare, and one thing our Native American brothers have always been growing is squash, and part of the Three Sisters is corn, squash, and beans. And they worked in a they worked in a symbiotic relationship, and the squash is always harvested in winter. Now, one thing I want to describe is there's a difference between summer squash, which is right here, the zucchini and the yellow squash that we're all fairly familiar with.
Yep. Oh, I love those. Yeah.
And then there's the winter squash, the acorn, spaghetti, pumpkin, and butternut.
Okay, so acorn, spaghetti.
Yes, ma'am.
Butternut. Okay, got it.
Exactly. Right. And the winter squashes actually have a lot more nutrients than the summer squashes because they grow longer. The nutrients are able to be held in the fruit longer.
Really?
And yeah, they're packed with omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6, phosphates, minerals of all sorts, vitamin A and vitamin C. So they're fully packed with nutrients, and they're great for winter when we start to slow down, and these nutrients help us stay going. Now, one thing I wanted to present today was how to properly roast a squash.
Okay.
And you can use this for any type of squash. This particular squash is a spaghetti squash, and it gets its name because when you roast the meat inside, when you take it out, it actually looks like spaghetti.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and it looks absolutely like spaghetti. And so what I have on here is cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of clove, and then I pour honey on top of it, and then we cover it in foil in a baking pan and then roast it at about an hour at 350 degrees. And it's just that easy. And then you take the meat out and you can use it for whatever you want.
Wow, that tastes delicious. I mean, that sounds delicious. And you wouldn't necessarily think that those flavors on something that looks like spaghetti would go well, but obviously it does.
Oh, it has such a great nutty flavor. The cinnamon and the nutmeg brings out just a vibrant zest to, the squash, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And so what we have here is the butternut squash soup, and what we've done is we've roasted the butternut squash just like I told you, and then we added some cream, we sweated some onions and some carrots.
Now, what does that mean, if you sweat onions?
Sweating onions is just basically cooking them in olive oil, butter, things like that until they're translucent, soft, and they've cooked out all of their firmness. They're nice and tender.
All right.
So what we've done is we sweat the onions and the carrot. We added a little bit of cream and nutmeg, and then we just add the squash, and then we blend it up, and it is ready to go. It's just a fantastic soup. Everyone loves it. It's a perfect winter soup, and it warms you up inside on these cold days.
It does.
It's fantastic.
The perfect comfort food. And for some reason, it still feels elegant even though it's so easy.
Yeah, well, you know, I think we've lost a lot of our second nature here in Iowa. Squash is so much of a second nature to us here. Our Native American brothers, like I say, have been doing this for thousands of years, and so I would just like to explain to people that we can come back to it, and it's super easy, and it's delicious, and it's nutrient packed, and it's healthy for you, and it's so good.
Maybe we can feel better. That's Mr. Food.
Yeah.
Maybe we can feel a little bit better about our pumpkin pie this year then.
Yes, yes, and this is actually a pie pumpkin. It's
they're cute little ones.
It's ornamental as well as delicious, and you can use the flesh for that for creating pumpkin pie, pumpkin bars, and roasted just the way I showed you. And
excellent.
It's a guaranteed fit.
Do you serve these lovely vegetables at My Verona?
Yes, we do, and they're actually grown at Wassendorf Farms, which is our owner's farm, and they're organically grown here in Iowa with no fungicides, herbicides, or anything like that.
Even better. So downtown Cedar Falls, My Verona. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thanks, Sonny.
We'll be right back.